Ready?
Yep.
Hey, happy Monday.
Cool. What's up? Welcome back.
So, to start the show, we always start with our drinks, our drink bets.
Yeah.
And tonight I am drinking water only
Whoa.
because I finally secured a surgery date and I
Oh.
can't drink alcohol for 7 days leading up to the surgery. So, it's
Wow.
not just because you kicked my ass in fantasy and our other drinking bets. It's because I
It
have
was
to have surgery. But I promise to do a beer bong the first chance I get post surgery.
yes, I will take that. That is a good deal for me. Live on YouTube, beer bong.
Yes. Yeah, so we've been going live on YouTube. If you want to watch and see our beautiful faces, you can. Ballon Drunks. What is it? I don't even know what it is. Just search Ballon Drunks, you'll find it.
Yep.
And
Ballon
then,
drunks.
9 p.m. Thursdays. Most Mondays, we've been pretty good about Mondays recently,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we're
definitely
making it a
Thursdays.
routine.
Definitely Thursdays with Champions League, which we'll
Yeah.
get to. Big
We'll
Champions
definitely
League.
get
Is it
into.
tomorrow or
It's
Wednesday?
Wednesday. Every game is the same simultaneously on Wednesday.
Yeah,
So,
huge day Wednesday.
yeah,
So we'll
real big
preview that
week.
a little bit, but let's go through the Premier League first. But you can still read off the drinks, and
Yeah,
you can take
I guess
them
I'll be
if
doing
you're
some
good. Yeah.
solo drinking on my end, but yeah, for a good cause, we'll let it slide.
There you go.
Well, fortunately, pick'ems there actually is no drinks because for the first time I think ever, we actually tied exactly 6-6
Really
with a
low
terrible
score.
week. Yeah, very very bad week for us.
I got to be honest, this was a
But
humbling week for me. I had a rough one
yeah,
across all of our platforms that we use.
across everything, yeah. So I did get fortunate in fantasy, which, as Austin mentioned, was a brutal beatdown. 130-point victory
Dude,
on my end.
usually 130 points wins you the week, and that was
Yeah,
your differential.
yeah. It was approaching. It was getting close to 3x the score. So
Well,
it was.
you had two hat tricks, right?
I think a brace and a hat trick. Yeah.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, Isak
yeah.
and Atara.
Isak with a brace and Watara with a hat trick, and then Adams played great. I got 0 out of my goalie too. Like that could have been an
I
insane
know.
week if I had gotten even a decent showing out of my goalie. But because we both had the same goalie, your best player I also had, he just had no shot. But
And Kevin De
victory for me
Bruyne
there.
didn't play for
Yeah,
75% of the match.
got 0 points
God
or
damn it.
something. Yeah. You did, however, take home the prop bet win with Brentford on the road at Crystal Palace.
There we go.
And I lost with my terrible Nottingham pick, which we'll get into as we review the Premier League week. So drink for me there. And then there were 2 red cards, both in the same game, Wolves and Arsenal.
Another one that I don't think deserves drinks. Really, really bad call. We can talk about that one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, first we watched together Man City Chelsea this weekend, which was rad.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was expecting.
I bought Peacock.
Yeah. So how do you like it? Did you watch anything else on there?
Nah, that was
Just watch that match.
worth it.
Well, you will be able to watch every match now, which is pretty sweet. The match was pretty good. I was expecting a little bit better. I think it could have been better if the finishing was more on point. It was kind of a weird match though. It started out with had to start that kid from Kazakhstan who was
20-year-old
at center back. He was so nervous, you could feel it. You could see it. His first touch was a back pass to, I think, Cole Palmer, and ended up with 1-0 Chelsea after like 2 minutes. And you could see he was instantly, his head felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
But after that, he settled in, and so did Man City. And eventually they were the better team for majority of the match, I would say. Chelsea did have chances that Nicholas Jackson screwed up. But but all in all, I feel like pretty convincing win for Man City.
Yeah, no, I mean, overall for where they've been, this is a great win, right? They've been in situations where these are games they've been almost consistently losing against teams like Chelsea. So a big improvement for them, but kind of what you would expect from a team that is that good on paper. But yeah, like you said, once they kind of settled in, they definitely seem to be the better team. Chelsea had their chances, and as you mentioned, Jackson was just not helping up front. And overall, it would have been a much more exciting game, I think, with some better, finishing from Chelsea, some better striker play. Madueke, I just didn't feel like was doing much, even though he scored that first goal. It was kind of set up for him.
Yeah.
And then we have to talk about the new addition on Man City.
Yeah, what'd you think of Marmoush?
Was looking
the Egyptian?
really dynamic out there. Really fun to watch. You would have wished you could have gotten it in a few, more promising areas attacking wise.
Well, he did have a goal called back.
True. Yeah, that's right.
Do you know how old he is?
I'm gonna guess like early mid-20s.
Yeah, he's 25. So he's in his prime, and he looked really good. I actually like him, kind of where he played out on the left. I wonder if they're gonna move him around or if he's gonna stay there. Because wasn't he playing like the number 9 for Frankfurt?
Yeah, he was playing striker, or they might have been playing with a double striker approach. Either way, he was playing as a more strike focused player. So. Yeah. A bit of a change for him.
He looked good, though. He looked really good.
Definitely. Yeah, he looked like the type of player. It doesn't matter where he's playing. Like, he's just active. He just gets into the right space, and like I don't. It seems like the type of player you could put anywhere, and he's gonna do well. He's gonna create havoc for the other team. So just get him on the field. Is the type of guy he seems like.
Really quick, attacking.
Yeah,
I think he's a good complement to. It's kind of like Savinho has done a little bit better, but
yeah,
I feel like you've been wanting more out of him.
Yeah.
And
he's still so young. I think Savinho's still like 19 or 20. So
yeah, maybe he's not
he's great. He's fine where he's at, but like we have to remember that. But yeah, you're almost like there's a little bit more there that he could bring, but he still has the opportunity to get there. But it's a perfect example, right? You mentioned he's 25 versus a 20-year-old Savinho, and you can see the difference. You can see the confidence. You can see just a little bit more mature, developed, approach to the game, athleticism, and he's going to be great for them. Great pickup. Watching one game.
A great pickup. You can already tell it's one game, and you're like, he's a great pickup. He's going to help their team. And this is like, Arsenal, why aren't you doing this? Like, I don't understand. This is the type of guy. Can you imagine if Marmoush just went to Arsenal?
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, damn, are they going to contend for the title now? Like, that's immediately what you would think. So, yeah, great job by Man City. They got the dub. Chelsea wasn't their best performance. I thought it was super weird that they were playing such a high line. Like such a high line. You're just asking for the ball to be thrown over the top with Haaland just beasting everybody he runs against. Like, I don't know, it felt like a weird strategy to me.
Yeah, especially with an inconsistent goalie that's going to have to make decisions about coming out when you're playing that high of a line. And it came back and bit him, as we saw it in that game.
You're making it 10 times harder for a guy who already struggles to make good decisions.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I got to say, it was a ton of fun watching it together. We got to do it more. It was fun just talking, watching it live together, syncing everything up. Talking through it.
Highlight of the match when your lovely wife Annie came in, and right when she comes in, they show a close up of Enzo Fernandez. And she's like, "Who's that? Looks like a bitch." Like, the perfect comment. Oh my god, just killed me. I will never forget that. It's just like, yeah, he is a little bitch. So funny.
Oh,
she fucking pinned him in 2 seconds.
Look at that guy with his tattoos, little bitch.
Looks like a bitch.
So good. Oh, that's what happens when you watch it live, man. We got to do more of this.
Hell yeah,
it was good times. It was fun.
I know, and she's not wrong.
No, it was great.
Uh, okay, so that match, Man City ended up winning 3-1. Do you want to anything else you want to touch on that one?
No, I mean, I think we hit it, but
Yeah.
I, I think confirmation, just to wrap the bow on Chelsea, confirmation that they're not ready yet to
No.
really compete. This was kind of showed you, they were riding high for a while, but this is more of what they are on a
Yeah.
day to day basis.
They, like Arsenal, need to find a better striker.
Hmm.
Man United. Oh my gosh, you were right on this one. I was wrong. Man United got the magic.
Yeah.
I feel like Fulham had their chances and were probably the better team overall, but Man
Uh huh.
United got that lucky deflection in the second half, and then
Yeah.
they got a garbage time goal to seal it 2-0.
That was called back. Ended up being just 1-0.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, before that, I feel like they didn't have any chances.
No. Yeah. It was just like, this is what happens with Man United. They're just like, they hang around just enough and things will break their way eventually when they're in these games. So
Yeah.
it was a good performance by Fulham. It could have been better. I didn't feel like there was a lot that came out of like Jimenez, and
Yeah.
it was more of a midfield game than anything, striker related.
Couple of
But
close chances, but nothing. Yeah, they just couldn't
yeah,
couldn't finish. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, that one killed me in a lot of ways. I made that pick. I think we bet on Fulham too. So yeah, definitely screwed up. And I don't really feel differently about either of those teams after that.
I don't feel any differently about Man U. I feel exactly the same. Fulham, I feel like I expected a little bit more.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to happen, but I felt like they've been showing more than this, so a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, we'll see if it's a trend or if it's just,
Hmm.
one bad game. Bournemouth, this was a surprising match.
Huge.
Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, two teams that are just on a heater lately. And Bournemouth destroys them, wins 5-0 against Nottingham
Dismantled.
Forest. Like, we were talking, Nottingham Forest, I think, had 20 goals allowed on the season. They were second with Liverpool, and they
Hmm.
gave up five. Insane beatdown. So I don't know what to make of this one. I,
I mean, it's just a complete no-show from Nottingham. When those type of games happen, it's just like things go wrong from the start, and there's no digging out of the hole. It just, I don't know. I can't put the words exactly to it, but you see it when you're watching teams sometimes where the players are trying, but they almost like don't have faith it's going to work out, and the ball bounces the wrong way, the guy covers the wrong guy, whatever it is, and it's just like an avalanche that you can't stop no matter what you do. And Bournemouth just continues to look so dynamic on the attack. Anytime they push forward, they get turnovers, they push forward, they get crosses in, they get guys running in on the diagonal. It's just creating so much havoc and turmoil in these other teams' defenses. You mentioned Nottingham, one of the best defenses in the league, and they completely dismantled them.
yeah, and
They look
without
really good.
without the Brazilian dude, what's his name? His name's in my mind, but they have injuries right now. They're not even playing
Yeah.
everybody. Um, Adams had a great match, double assist,
Hmm.
drink. Um, Clivert, it's looking like his dad right now, and dude, they're scary. I think Nottingham Forest also is the type of team that aren't good at playing from behind. They're a
Hmm.
team that
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
needs to get that first goal and then counterattack you to death after that. Um,
Oh, yeah. I mean, you just look at where they are in the standings and their goal difference, and it's like these are the goal differences of the teams around them: 20, 33, 23, 17, 14, 15, 15. Their goal difference, 6.
yeah,
Like, they win the close games, they get a lead, they hold it. That is what they do. It's how it's their recipe they have to follow to really have a chance. But that explains everything to you right there.
yeah. So Bournemouth cruising. They are now. Are they up to
Up to seven. They're
fourth?
up to seventh, tied on points with Chelsea.
Okay, so they're. Ooh, yeah, they are 1 point out of fourth. So it's a tight group. Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea, and Bournemouth, 41 and 40 points respectively. Really tight for that fourth spot.
Yeah.
And after seeing today and seeing the moves that Man City made, I think they finished top two. I think they pass Arsenal. Unless Arsenal adds somebody of significance, I think Man City gets second. I don't know if you can bet that, but that's what I would put my money on.
Bet top two?
Yeah.
I think you can. I think we looked at
probably
that.
could find that. I would do that.
Yeah, what's the deadline? February 3rd is the deadline, so they've got, was that 1 week left? Yeah, they got exactly 1 week from today.
Is the deadline?
Is the deadline? Yeah, the 3rd.
Yeah. And I haven't heard anything, but we'll see. Liverpool still top the league, 53 points. They got another win. I don't even remember who they played at this point. It's all blurring together.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? I don't even remember. But they won easily. Everton shocked Brighton.
Huge.
Dude,
huge
what
win
the
for
fuck? That was another one that killed me. Like, how did that happen? Everton again? I still think it was a bullshit penalty call that they got, but Brighton not scoring is really surprising at home.
Yeah, big result for Everton.
Crazy. Oh, we got to talk Tottenham. Tottenham lost at home to Leicester, a shitty-ass Leicester team. And they were winning, and they gave up 2 goals in the second half back-to-back, and it was like, oh, fuck, here we go again. And they lost. Dude, they're at the point right now where, like, they are just expecting bad things to happen. And I don't feel confident betting on them ever again until they turn this around.
I hear you. Yeah, I was going to share with you. So they've been obviously talking about the injuries they've been dealing with. This is an entire 11-man team that you can build with injured Tottenham players. So you have Vicario at goalie, Udogie at left back, Van de Ven and Romero and Spence along the back, all who at different times have been legitimate starters. Basuma, Ed Madison, and Brennan Johnson in midfield. And then you have Werner and Odebear on the wings and Solanke up top, which is like a team that could probably be like maybe middle of the table even in the Premier League. And that's out injured. That's just their injured players. It's incredible.
Dude, tough times for Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
And I see the owner getting a lot of shit because they're not bringing anybody in. And I think they're right. Like, they got to fucking figure this out. If they want to right the ship, they're almost in a relegation battle at this point.
Seriously,
Are they 15th in the table?
Yeah, 15th. They're only, at this point, 7 points up on, or 8 points up on 18th. So there's still a little bit of a gap there, but you're down there with teams like Everton and Leicester, you know? Exactly. You're not up there with teams like Fulham and Brighton. It's just incredible for a team like Tottenham.
They should not be where they are, even with all the injuries. So I don't know what they got to do. They need like a Ted Lasso pep talk of some sort to get the vibes up.
Supposedly the word is they're still putting their faith in Ange, which, I don't really blame him just with the injury situation. They still are underperforming though. So I don't know. I personally wouldn't make a change, but it's a real shitty situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't make a change either, unless he's lost the locker room, which I don't think that he has. I feel like they are playing hard. They're still playing hard for him. What is firing him going to do at this point,
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
It make more chaos and turmoil.
Yeah, exactly. They're still in the EFL Cup.
That's right, yep.
They're still playing Europa. So the season's not over. They just got to get some players back and get some positivity going on that squad. It's not
they have the return leg at Liverpool. So if they find a way to navigate that.
When is that?
The 6th. So that'll be next week.
Oh, huge match.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope they do it, man. I want them to. They need it.
That'd be great, yeah. And then you have Arsenal going on the road to Newcastle, down 2 goals on the Wednesday, the day before. So
Yeah.
two great semifinals to watch there.
Speaking of Arsenal, they played Wolves and they got screwed by one of the worst red cards I've ever seen. I feel like I say
Yeah.
this every week, but
Yeah, you're not wrong this time though.
this one is so bad, dude. It's a yellow
So bad.
card all day, and he went straight red immediately. Like, I felt bad for Arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
and props to them for pulling out a victory, being down 10 men, being down to 10 men, because they did not deserve that red card. That was horseshit.
Yeah. I mean, it does help that Wolves turns around and gets a red card still in the first half, near halftime, on a double yellow. So, but yeah, I mean, they even before that though, they were still battling, they were still creating chances. So it was a hard fought points for Arsenal. But I agree with you, it was a horrible red card. I still don't understand how it could have been, because it was a straight red. It was reviewed. I don't understand how that could be upheld on review.
Dude, these refs are ridiculous.
insane.
And I even saw that they, like whatever the referee group's called, reviewed it after the match and released a statement that he made the right call. And it's like, what? What are you watching? Like, there's no way. Like, have you ever played soccer? That is not a red card in any world. Horrible, horrible call. They're just backing the ref for I don't know why, just because. But yeah, really dumb. I'm happy Arsenal got the win because that would have been really lame to lose points on that one. I actually would have sided with Arteta whining and complaining.
Yeah, it's funny just to speak about the refereeing. So I saw a clip later. So the Wolves red was the second yellow for Gomez, and the first yellow everyone was complaining about as well, because I think he just like slightly kicked the ball away or something, and they were all complaining to the ref. And Trossard on the other team comes up to him and goes, "Dude, this guy did the same thing to me," talking about the ref. Like complete, like the players on both teams were like joining together against the ref, which was just hilarious to see. It was just a travesty of a refereed game on all fronts.
And it was Michael Oliver, who's like the top ref.
Who's supposed to be like the best or one of the best.
No,
and
he
it's
was
like,
not
what is
the
going
best
on?
that day. He was terrible. Yeah, but Arsenal got the win, so good job by them. Newcastle cruised, Liverpool cruised.
Yeah,
Villa West Ham
had
tied.
yeah. West Ham really good draw on the road at Aston Villa. They've been struggling, so that's a huge result for them, obviously.
Dude, and Brentford, this is another one. Crystal Palace screwed me too. One of the dumbest plays I've ever seen by a defender. Did you see Lacroix?
Yeah.
First of all, give away the
ball should have been cleared, first of all, but
Yeah.
it got cleared into your own player. It keeps the ball in the box.
But then, so the penalty is being taken, and he is 2 feet standing in the box while the penalty kick is being taken. 2 feet are in the zone. He takes the penalty kick, and he doesn't even run toward the ball. So it's like, why are you standing in the box?
That's not who it got called on. So I was watching the game, and the announcers immediately poked on him. But what people failed to realize is the only time it gets called is if you interfere with the play. The person that interfered with the play was Gahey, and he broke in before the kick from the D on the edge of the box. So because he wasn't in the box, people didn't really see it or notice it. But he is the guy that is the one that interfered. You have to, for there to be a re-kick, you have to infringe and affect the play, which Lacroix didn't. And so he kind of I feel like he got unfairly singled out just because he was actually in the box. Well, but it was actually Gahey who came in and cleared the ball away before Mbomo could finish the tap in.
Well, no,
and
he still deserves to get shit, because if the ball would have hit off the post and come to him, and then it would have been a re-kick. So it's like, you're a dumb motherfucker. Just stand 1 foot to the left so this doesn't happen. Like, that was really dumb. Gahey?
Yeah, but in the moment, I felt so bad because I was like, it's not him. Like, I watched the freaking tape.
No,
like,
he doesn't.
He didn't interfere with the play. It was the guy that kicked the ball. Like, it frustrates me so bad when announcers, like,
are wrong.
So many times, I feel like they're more wrapped up in, like, sounding good or like not jumping to. I don't know. It's just like watch the game and react to what you're actually seeing.
Yes,
He didn't
exactly.
interfere with the play.
Yeah.
Look at the guy that actually kicked the ball away. He's the one. And maybe it's a little bit of English. I don't know.
No, I think it.
Protection.
No,
But
I think it's an announcer thing, like you said. They get worried about other things and they don't
yeah,
notice just what's right in front of them sometimes.
they're not just like focused on what they're watching.
I saw it.
I hear that.
I
Or
saw
there's somebody in their ear that's another thing we
that
don't know.
too.
Maybe in their ear saying that, but it was like, oh, like you're talking about the wrong guy right now. But you are right at the same time. Why would you do that? Like it's stupid.
Yeah.
Just stay outside the box. Like
I was and another time. I don't know who was announcing that match, but another time is like the announcers are old, especially some of them like are in their 60s, and you just never know. They're just like a little bit slower, and their eyes are a little bit worse than yours. I remember this weekend I was watching college basketball, and there was a replay of two guys that like went to tip the ball about the same time, and the ball went out of bounds. They're trying to figure out who it went out off of. And it took this announcer 6 replays to figure out, like, oh, so it was him who touched it last. Even though the first fucking replay, you could see it plain as day. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why are they still showing this over and over again? And the guy still was like, hard to tell, hard to tell. And then on like the 6th one, he was like, okay, I think it was off this guy. It's like, yeah, no shit. You can see it from the other 5. Like, but are you blind? So yeah,
That's
I feel
funny.
like sometimes those guys just aren't the best at commentating at that type of stuff.
But speaking of that, just all time balls and Bumo penalty saved, steps right back up, drains it, and then I don't know if you were watching. I don't know if you were watching the replays, but Wissa outside. Did you see him? Yeah,
I saw it
so his
after. I didn't
teammate
see
Wissa
it like in the moment.
literally starts celebrating before he like even takes his first step to the penalty kick. Just hands up, running towards the corner flag already. It was insane. I was like, it's like Steph doing a no look 3 or something, you know? Like
yeah, but
it was
way
just
early.
way early.
Do you think he was trying to throw off the goalie?
Maybe, but they showed a third replay, and there was another. I don't remember who, but there was another player that also did it as well. So maybe it was something that maybe.
Think about if he would have missed again. That would have been
Yeah.
really, really funny.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been Jordan Poole type stuff.
Oh God, pain.
All right, so those are all the matches. Really, some of these teams are playing in the Champions League midweek, and then we'll revisit. We'll be back on Thursday and revisit those Champions League matches, and then do our picks for next weekend.
Yeah,
but Champions League, it's the last season.
I was like, whoa!
Super League kind of a season. Last week of the season of the regular season. Is that it? 8-week season.
Yeah, there we go.
Week number 8. You already said that everyone's going to play at the same time on Wednesday, which is going to be crazy. But there are only a few matches that really have huge significance. So let's go through those ones. I'm going to pull up the standings right now. Which game do you want to talk about first?
Well, I think we got to talk. We already talked about Man City, so we got to probably start there, I would say. So we mentioned how they've been on the brink, right on that line of making the knockout stage or not, or making the playoff stage, I should say, in order for an opportunity to make the knockout stage. They end up losing to PSG, right, in last week's thriller. That definitely set them back, but they're at home taking on Bruges, which on paper is easy money. Like this is an easy win game for City.
They have to win. It can't be a draw.
But they have to win to make sure they can get in. And I mentioned to you last time, Bruges is in the midst of a 19 or 20 game undefeated streak across all competitions.
No. Oh, okay. Well, then maybe because they lost in week 3 of the Champions League.
Yeah,
so that might have been a while ago.
Yeah, not domestic, but just all comps. They've been undefeated in the last 19 or 20 games, so they're flying high, even though they're an underdog here for sure. But definitely one to watch because we've seen a tale of two cities so far this season. They play like they did
Nice.
against Chelsea. They're going to be fine, but they play like they did a month ago. It's going to be a crazy one to watch.
A Tale of Two Cities. I like that. Write a book with that title.
Damn. Should have wrote that one down.
So they're 2 points out of the playoff zone. So they're at 8. They need more than 10. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 teams on 10 already. So a win would get them to 11, and they just need one of those 4 teams basically to lose and to take their spot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they still need help.
They still need a little help.
They gotta win. They gotta win.
A win has to happen for them. So those 4 teams that are on the edge are Benfica, PSG, Sporting, and Stuttgart.
Yep. So that probably brings up our next game that is a must-watch, and that is PSG is taking on Stuttgart.
There it is. Yep. So if this is a draw, I don't know what happens because then all of these teams would have 11, including City with a win. So then you get into tiebreaker stuff, and I don't know what they go with or who's going to end up where on goal differential. So it's going to be nuts. It's going to be absolutely insane. Yeah. It's going to be one of those things where they have the telecast talking about all the different scenarios, 30 minutes left in the match. Like, if it stands like this, then these teams are going through.
Yep. That whole group of five, even 6 teams with Zagreb down there, it's going to be probably changed 3 or 4 times during the game. So it'll be really fun to watch. There's probably a situation where some of them, if certain results happen, should go for the draw, and so it's something to watch for, right? Coming into the game, I think you just don't know what's going to happen. You gotta come out being like, we need to win this game, but there might be a moment where we see strategies change and tactics change based off of results that may be going on around. So definitely that's probably be the most exciting part to watch, I think, is that bottom end.
Yeah, that bottom end. And then the rest of the matches that are important are for the first 8 knockout slots that get to avoid the playoff knockout round.
And it is super tight there.
Yeah, so I think super tight. So the 4 teams that are locked in are Liverpool, Barcelona, Arsenal, and Inter. They're through. They're locked into the top 8. But then we have on 15 points Atletico, AC Milan, Atalanta at 14, Leverkusen at 13, just ahead of Villa in 9th with 13, and then there's a bunch of teams on 13 and 12. So that middle group is 13, all fighting to get into the top 8. And so I think really like 90% of the teams have something to play for on this last week, which is crazy to think about. And
even Barcelona, we've talked about how Liverpool's undefeated, but even Barcelona, if Liverpool were to lose this game, Barcelona has a better goal differential. So like even the first and second teams legitimately might have something to be playing for when it comes down to seeding, right? So all the way at the top, there's still something on the line, even though Liverpool's undefeated. And then all the way down at the bottom, we talked about already, it's going to be pretty crazy. And then you have, like you said, that sort of the cutoff between the playoff and the bye week is a ton of teams that are tightly packed there. So I think they're going to play really hard. I think they're going to put a lot of weight on that. You really don't want to go and play that playoff series. It's not just one extra game you got to play. It's 2 extra games. You got to go on the road. It's just so much more you got to go through to make it to the next stage. So it's really worth putting in the effort here and not letting it go to the playoff.
Teams I'm rooting for, Villa are in 9th right now, and they play Celtic at home. I want them to get in the top 8 so badly. Not only because I want Villa to do well, but I also think it'll help them to avoid having to play another match.
Yeah.
And so I definitely want them to get in. Feyenoord is a team that I like as well. They're on 13 points. It'd be cool to see them to get in.
And they're going against Lille, who's right next to them in the standings, so that'll be a fun one to watch.
Yeah. I basically want the smaller teams, the middle to small teams, getting into the top 8, and I want all the big clubs in the playoff, and because I want to see carnage. I want to see big clubs get bounced from the playoff round.
We want to see Dortmund and Bayern and Real and Juventus
Yeah.
PSG, Man City, all in the playoff. It'll be so much more fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm rooting for. And then there's teams like Port, dude, Young Boys, and Bratislava, 0 points after 7 matches.
Ouch.
I know.
Ouch.
It's crazy Leipzig is so far down too. They're
Yeah,
struggling.
they've really struggled.
They had a good match midweek. I think they played Leverkusen
I
and
feel like every
they
game I
tied two
watched of them in the
two.
Champions League, it was like an exciting game. Like they were always in it. And it's just one of those things where like
Yeah.
it's almost like a Tottenham, right? Where they're like in it half the game and then something goes wrong and they can't recover and it's just unfortunate. Unfortunate for that to be, such a disappointing season. 6 losses. Ouch.
Oh, and by the way, I think when we did the young player tier rankings, that we
Yeah.
did where we definitely screwed up Musiala and then we moved him lower later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I know that was right to do it, and I actually think I probably underrated Florian Wirtz too much
Bit. Okay.
because I've watched him 2 games in a row now. I watched him play against Atletico, and then I watched him play in the Salzburg
He's good.
or
He's good.
Leipzig, Leverkusen, and he's class, dude. He's class.
Yeah.
He's super quick. Love the way the Germans say his name too. They're like Wirtz. It's like it's so German, and then we say it so American.
Yeah.
We're like Wirtz. They're like Florian Wirtz.
Bits.
Wirtz.
I will say I'm still proud. I think we got the S tier good, the A tier. It's just that the B tier was tough because there were so many players in it. But
He's certainly ahead of Musiala as far as German players.
I think you could make the argument he should be at the front of A, with
Yeah, he
potential
could
to
be
be,
in
or
A,
front
yeah.
of front of B. I mean, maybe even at the back of A.
I feel like he's at the point where you kind of want to see it for one more season, because he is so
Yeah.
young. It's like, is this just he's having a really good stretch, or is this something that is
Yeah.
a little more long term? You just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe in a different system, it gets better or worse too. So you never know.
Dude, when his coach leaves next year for Real Madrid,
That's your sign. Time to go.
hey, maybe he'll go with them.
Oh, nah, you ain't gonna play there. Actually,
He could play there.
a natural fill-in for Modric's leaving, maybe.
I think he could play there.
Yeah, Modric on his way out. That could work.
All right. Should we get into the news?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we got a lot of random news here this week.
Yeah.
So this is gonna jump around. I saw
Classic
this.
transfer window. I tried to organize it into transfer stuff and then other news. So
Yeah, but we're gonna get a little wild at the end because I got a good story for you.
okay. So on the transfer side of things, though, we mentioned that there was something going on, but it does look official now that Almiron is going to leave Newcastle, heading back to the MLS, to Atlanta FC, where he was previously. Hasn't been getting much playing time, hasn't been getting much run as Newcastle's kind of stepped up to the next echelon over the last couple of years.
Dude, I am shocked that Murphy is playing as well as he's playing.
He's playing really well. He's playing really well, yeah.
He is. I got to give it to him.
And he's a lot more for you on the sort of athletic and defensive side than Almiron does. So
Almiron's a good player, though.
he's very creative. I think he's a great attacking threat, but he doesn't have the stature and the athleticism, I think, to fit in with a classic Newcastle midfield / counter-attacking style. I think he's just. I don't necessarily think he should go to the MLS, but I just don't think he's going to get run there.
Yeah. And then I saw
next,
this as well. Disasi, big center back, French center back from Chelsea, loaned out to Villa. This actually surprised me. I've called him the French Harry Maguire in the past.
So that's good.
And I stand by that. But
not wrong.
I think this is a good pickup for Villa. It's a little confusing given that Mings is coming back. I don't know if this is like Mings insurance or if they're going to go next to each other.
Yeah. Well, it's a loan with no option to buy. So it's very much a short-term, one season.
But do you think he's coming in to start right away, or is he a depth piece?
I don't think he's coming in to start.
So this is kind of like, hey, we're playing Europe. Europe, we have a lot of matches. We just need another depth piece.
We
Okay.
need more. We need more depth. I feel like a lot of times they will give a courtesy start or like, I would be surprised if he gets a start here soon, but then straight to the bench. So, I think that's really what his path is here. So.
I think it's a smart move for Villa then. Like,
Yeah.
you got to do this if you're playing Europe.
And Chelsea's the team to poach guys from, right?
Yeah.
Especially when he hasn't played the best this year, and we never thought very much of him the years before. But the years before were so dysfunctional. You're betting on talent here, and he was a talented player coming in, and maybe he just hasn't had the opportunity to shine there. So I always like the idea of taking a player that hasn't had the opportunity as much as maybe he would want or should. Off of a team like Chelsea and give him a shot.
Yeah, speaking of guys not getting the opportunity, is Buendia. He got
Yep.
loaned to Leverkusen. He's a solid player, another depth piece for them. I don't think he's going in the starting lineup either, but
Yeah.
good move. It is weird though to get loaned out to a team where you're not going to start on. It's like, damn, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would expect a loan, and maybe he'll play more, but I don't know.
And this one is with a buy option, so it might be something to look for, especially, hey, you just mentioned it. If Wirtz is on his way out, a natural fill-in that position if needed in years to come. So
Yeah, but he's no Vitz.
he's not, but he plays that position.
He does. And then, okay, so you say Leverkusen want McAtee as well, but
yes,
this isn't a done deal.
They've made an offer for him on loan with an option to buy, and they're currently negotiating. Is the current news there? So another guy similar to a Palmer that doesn't look like he's really going to get a fair shot and a fair go at Man City, and probably wants out and wants to play. And I don't know. It makes sense to me. I maybe necessarily wouldn't want to go to the Bundesliga, but if you're going to get an opportunity to play for a team playing in the Champions League, why not? Let's go for it.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Jumping over. This is contract news, not transfer news, but supposedly both Pedri and Gavi are to sign new contracts very soon. That'll take them through 2030 with Barcelona. Supposedly the contracts have already been written. They just haven't officially signed yet. But another team that's trying to lock up a young player for long term. We heard it recently with Haaland. There's another player we heard it with too. I forget who it was, but some longer term deals that are coming out around this time.
Anybody on Chelsea?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, all of those guys.
Did they figure out the thing with Danny Olmo? I haven't heard about that in a while.
Yeah, I thought he played the last game. I thought he subbed in the last game.
But did they? So is he just like on their team for the season, or because that's the contract that is more important, I think.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So the last game, he was on the bench. He subbed in and played. So he is playing in La Liga. I think it was one of those things where they did everything they needed to do to get them registered, but there was a lot of people that think rules were broken. So I think there was a push from other teams to be like, this needs to be investigated. This isn't right. But they were granted, registration rights and are allowed to play right now until there's some sort of appeal or some sort of something that happens. There probably was some sort of preferential treatment. I'm sure there was some shady shit that went down. It's fucking Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
They'll expect nothing less. But for now, they're playing.
All right. And then Feyenoord reject AC Milan offer for Jimenez. That's surprising. How much was it?
Yeah, I think it was just a lowball offer. I think it was like 20 mil maybe. So I think they're trying to push that up a bit.
Testing the waters.
Yeah, it's testing the waters. But I feel like that is the type of player that one of these teams should go for. I feel like he's shown a lot. He's still kind of somewhat under the radar, playing for Feyenoord, but he's played in huge games in the Champions League. He's played against big teams. I feel like there's enough of a resume there that you can take a legitimate risk with a player like that and bring him into a bigger team. So I'm shocked there isn't more interest with him right now.
Yeah. Next up, you have Roerslev to Wolfsburg. Who is he?
I figured you would know him. He's on Brentford, so he plays left back, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been playing pretty consistently, so I was pretty shocked to see this. I think he either started or subbed in that last game against Crystal Palace, I believe. But yeah, so he's on his way out.
His
Did he
name's
start that game?
Mads.
Roerslev.
He's Danish.
Oh yeah, no, he plays right back. Yeah, he started the last game against on the road to Crystal Palace. So like he's been playing consistently. So I was a little bit shocked and surprised to see that. Maybe it's a money thing. I don't know what it is, but yeah, Brentford losing a starter.
Yeah. Yeah, and this news makes me happy because it's not the MLS. Neymar goes to Brazil and signs with Santos FC. I think this was his old club, right? This is the same one he played at before. So
yeah, I think
now
so.
He can retire there and just do whatever the fuck he wants because he's not going to be working hard. That's for sure. Okay. You have further Anthony stories coming out. What is this?
So obviously we talked about, his. Is it official now that he's out on loan?
Yeah.
Okay. It's all official. Yeah. So with him actually departing, there's been more sort of stories coming out of Man U. So there was two in particular that I saw, and it was basically around the time period where they decided to bring him in. And the first one was that they were seriously considering Rafinha, and they wanted to bring in Rafinha, over him. This was, I think, that when he was leaving Leeds to go to.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah, it was when he was leaving Leeds to go to Barcelona, right? And so that was their plan. And then Ten Hag came in and said, "No, I don't want him," and then pushed them in the direction of getting Anthony. So like legitimate interference from Ten Hag, and they could have had somebody like Rafinha. The other person that was also, and this one was even closer. They had actually agreed personal terms with Gakpo. This was when Gakpo was not in the Premier League. And in the final days of the windows, Ten Hag said, "No, I don't want him. I want Anthony," and stopped them from getting Gakpo and paying over twice as much money to go get Anthony than they would have had to pay to get Gakpo.
Whoops.
It's just incredible.
Ten Hag, you have a horrible eye for talent.
Incredible.
My God. That is absurd. Well,
so bad.
Good luck in La Liga.
Yeah. Good riddance. This next one I wanted to share with you. It's funny. I saw this article, but so the Premier League website put up some in the midst of referee drama and trying to clarify. I don't know if you saw this, but trying to clarify, what red cards are, yellow cards, so on and so forth. They were posting pictures of like, this is what a red card is, right? And they posted a picture for a high foot red card challenge, and somebody went back and looked, and it was a foul that was not even called a foul in a game.
Yeah, it was the Doku chest kick.
Oh, you saw this.
McAllister. Yeah,
yes.
I saw Liverpool account posted this.
That's so good, man.
That's bullshit. Your definition, your illustrative definition of a red card was not given and affected.
Not even given a foul.
No, and affected the title race. What a terrible.
Not even given as a foul.
That is such a referee incompetent thing to do. So stupid.
So good, man. So good. But speaking of refereeing, Bundesliga's come out and said that they will have their referees explain VAR decisions. I believe this is starting next year. Maybe it's starting this year, but I think it's next year. A la what we see in the NBA with challenges, right? Where they will have to actually explain what was seen and why the decision was upheld or changed based off of what they saw, which is going to be an interesting thing to see, in regards to what we've seen so far with VAR, and really put the onus, I think, on these referees to actually have an argument for whatever the hell they're deciding. Like there's going to be a lot more pressure, I think, because of this, and I think it's only going to lead to better decisions.
Oh, you do? Okay. I think it's going to...
You don't think so?
No, I hate this. I think there should be less VAR, not more VAR. I don't want more of VAR. Even if it's an explanation of your wrong decision, I don't want to hear that either. Like, I think the calls are going to remain the same. There's just going to be shitty explanations of these guys talking and be like, that's ridiculous. It's going to make me more upset to hear their incorrect interpretation of a horrible call. To be like, how, like, it's just going to bother me more. I'm saying it now. I don't want any more VAR. I want it removed. I just, offsides, cool. Goal line, cool. But, like, don't even come at me with anything else.
Okay, I like it because I think it will put more pressure on the refs. Like, I think right now they can make decisions and just hide in this silence behind it. And I feel like them having to explain it, even if it's only 10% that are better calls, whatever percent that's going to make it better, I'm happy with.
So are they going to show the replay as well, or is it going to be the same thing in the stadium?
No,
so
I
if
think
you're
it's
a
just
fan,
a
you're just
description.
sitting there and the ref goes, offside, whatever, or whatever.
Well, I do think I think they do already show clips in the stadium, like when they do the offside lines.
Not in the Premier League.
Not in the okay. I feel like I've seen it in maybe some other leagues. Then, yeah, maybe you're right, but
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it needs to be
stadium,
with.
It was just like VAR on the screen, and they didn't show any replays. You're just sitting there in silence, being like, "Oh, I don't know."
Good point. Yeah.
So,
well, that's my stance. If it makes even
I hope
5% more correct calls, I'm fine with it.
I hope you're right, but I don't have high hopes.
Okay.
So I'm glad you didn't see this, but I saw this story that Ballon, he's been retired for a little while.
Yeah.
He got arrested in a it didn't specify where he's at in the interrogation. However, he got arrested on drug trafficking, some sort of cocaine trafficking ring from South America to Europe, and he is one of many that were arrested and are being interrogated.
Like while he was playing?
Details unclear.
Okay.
All I know is he was arrested on cocaine trafficking involvement.
The Maradona special?
It didn't say he was using the drugs, but that he was trafficking the drugs. So I don't know where he fits in. I am definitely going to keep my eye out for the developments in this story because this is crazy. Yeah. I don't know. He definitely looks like he'd be a player that would get into cocaine trafficking.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he has all of the image requirements, I think, to be be in that group.
Personality too kind of fits.
Yeah,
he seems like a coke guy, not a pot guy.
Yeah, definitely not. But it's crazy to think like you could be a professional soccer player and like that's what you do in retirement. Like I don't like what
you gotta have.
What's going on there?
A pretty good amount of money, right?
Yeah,
you would think. He had a
that or
solid career.
somehow you got tied up in some whack stuff and at a young age maybe or so, before he was bigger in the game or something. I don't know, but
yeah,
that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, that's it. That's all our news. All our random news is done.
Yeah.
So it looks like you've got a couple of games. What's this?
Well, yeah, we don't have to do this, but I love the keeper sell that you did last week with Man United.
Oh, okay.
So we could hold off on doing this. I did a few would you rathers for players, which we can go through if you want to. We could do a random keeper sell on one of these Premier League teams.
Pick one of those three, and I'll do it.
Okay. Let's do Arsenal.
Okay.
Keeper sell Arsenal. All right. Let's pull up their roster. What's going on here? There we go.
Are you going to do the full starting 11 or just random guys?
Yeah, we'll look at their let's see. Where's that last game they played?
Now, I don't know all of the Arsenal players' current contract situations.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to pretend that they're all...
In terms of wages and stuff?
No, not just that, but I think Partey's on his last year. I think there's a couple other guys on the last year, but I'm going to pretend like they're all the same.
Okay. Well, we'll start with the the last game starting lineup, but then we'll throw in a few other players,
Okay.
including their best player who's injured. So,
Okay.
but that's a guaranteed keep. But we'll start with Trossard.
Oh, I'd keep him. I
Okay.
think he's really unique, and he's
Do you keep him as a starter, as a bench piece?
right now he's a starter. Yeah,
Okay.
with all the
Do you think
injuries they
with
have,
Saka back, he's still a starter?
I think he should play over Havertz. But I'm not the coach, and that never seems to happen.
Perfect segue, Kai Havertz.
You know I'm selling him.
All day.
No way he's on my team.
How about next up, Austin, a noted fanboy of Martinelli.
I do like
What are your
Martinelli.
thoughts?
I'd keep him. I don't think he's the problem. I think he's a good player. He's dangerous. He does his job.
Yeah, I feel like that's just like an upgrade position though. Like I would start Trossard over him on the left, and obviously this last game he played on the right, but that's Saka's position all day. I don't know. He's on the border for me.
Yeah,
I like that he's still younger and he kind of developed with the team, which is nice. But it just always feels like there's a little bit more you could get out of
yeah,
him.
kind of like a Madueke type.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Declan Rice,
I'd keep him.
keep same. Partey,
I actually like Partey. I would keep him too.
I would sell him. I'd sell him.
I don't know if his value's that high. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think he's solid.
I feel like inconsistent. I get inconsistent vibes with him.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that.
Uh, young player here in Wari who started on the right.
Dude, he looked crazy.
Waneri,
He looked really
Waneri.
dangerous. You got
Yeah,
to keep him with how young he is.
yeah,
Unless he's not gonna crack the starting lineup, then maybe I'd sell him or loan him.
yeah, yeah. I feel like he's one for the future that you got to develop and hold on to. Timber right back.
Keep,
Saliba,
keep,
Gabriel,
keep.
Lewis Skelly, who is he's not the normal starter, is he?
No, he's not. He's
Yeah,
backup. But if he's gonna be your starter, I'd sell him.
sell,
Yeah, you
same.
get that. Yeah.
Raya.
I'd reluctantly keep Raya.
Okay, I would thought that would be a tough one for you. Okay, so a couple players that are out. Saka automatic keep, but Ben White, another player that has been injured, not playing.
I'd probably sell Ben White.
Interesting. Okay.
I think Timber is a younger version that can do enough. Like Ben White, I feel like is on the way like out. Um, I know he's a good player, but I always hear that like he doesn't love football. He likes other things. He's not as like locked in,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I worry he might lose his focus a little bit.
Okay. I'll fire a few last ones at you quickly. Raheem Sterling,
Sell. He's so washed, dude. He's washed.
Jorginho,
Same. Sell.
Zinchenko,
Sell. Yeah.
Kiwior,
Sell. He's not very good.
Calafiori.
I keep him.
Keep him. Okay. So I feel like you said a lot of keep in that starting lineup.
They have a
So,
great team. They have a great
yeah.
team. They just need to get a damn striker. That's
Yeah.
all they need to do. I don't know why it's
What
so
what would you
difficult
do with
for them.
Jesus? Jesus keep or sell?
You can't sell a hurt player.
Yeah. No, but if he were healthy.
If he were healthy, I would sell him because I know he's getting injured again.
Okay.
And it's just like you can't count on him, sadly.
Love it. All right. Well, that was good. We'll do some more of that. It's a fun little exercise to go through. I put together a few would you rather's real quick. We'll run through
Okay.
before we call it. We'll try to hit just over the hour mark here. A couple players you actually already mentioned, but I have 6 would you rather's here. Malo Gusto or Reece James?
Ugh. It's Reece James all day if you're telling me he's healthy.
Yeah,
That's the
but
thing is like
this is taking all
is he gonna
aspects
be
into account.
healthy? I don't know. I think I'd still go Reece James for the upside if he is healthy.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was a tough one.
That is
I
a
think you
tough one.
have to go James, but it's tough. That's a
Gusto's a
tough
good
one.
player. He's a good player.
Would you rather have Isak or Vlahovic?
Isak.
Okay. I was leaning Isak as well. So
That is a tough one, though.
it's a tough one. Would you rather have Clivert or Wood on Nottingham?
I'd rather have Wood.
Interesting. Okay.
I think Kleibert, they play kind of separate, different positions. And
Mm-hmm.
Kleibert's on a heater right now, and he's looking like fucking Maradona. But
Yeah.
I feel like Wood is a little more consistent. I know what I'm getting with him.
Yeah.
You put him in the
You're
right
getting
system
more
and give him
true striker
service.
play.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I think he's probably more valuable in that sense.
Which is why I kind of like Clivert because I feel like he gives you a little bit more in other areas. So, and we know he's a great penalty taker, great free kick taker. I think so. It was a tough one, but I think I'd lean Clivert. All right. Speaking of Nottingham though, with Wood, would you rather have Alanga or Hudson Odoi?
Alanga.
Damn, that was quick.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, Adoy is solid. He's good, but I think Alanga is got an extra gear that Hudson Adoy doesn't have.
Well, yeah, athletically, but I feel like there's a little bit more skill in Hudson Odoi. So,
For sure, but Hudson Adoy is a couple years older than him. Alanga is
for sure.
just
Yeah.
getting to play every day for this is probably his second year doing.
Yeah, you like the upside with Alanga.
Yeah,
I think that's good. Two players that came up earlier in the show at different times, but would you rather have Savino or Madueke?
Oh, Savino.
Oh, easy.
I'm not a Madueke fan.
Not a Madueke fan.
Yeah, guy who doesn't know about keeping men on side,
and also doesn't know how to pass half the time. Savino almost too pass happy, I feel like at times, but I'd much rather have that than the other side.
He's getting more. I feel like he's gotten a little more selfish, a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, last one for you.
His game.
A current debate going on in the Premier League, but would you rather have Watkins or Duran?
Oh, Watkins. Come on.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Watkins. Duran is on a heater right now. Watkins has been doing this. I actually had a stat for you. This feeds in nicely to my Ollie Watkins stat. He is the second fastest player to 100 goal contributions since the first one.
For Aston Villa?
No, for anybody. Kevin De Bruyne was the last person to do it faster.
Wow.
So
that's pretty good. He's
a great player, man. He's a striker who can finish and provide for others. Like he's fucking good.
Yeah, this recent season, man, is just really influencing me there. Like, I feel like maybe I don't know if he's injured or something, but I feel like he's not as fast or as athletic as he was before. Like, I don't feel like when he's running at players that he's creating space much. I still don't think like he's he's good at, like you said, holding up play and stuff like that. But I don't know. I've my opinion of him has really dropped this season. It was such a good season.
A worse season this year, and
100%.
Duran's been killing it. But you know what? It's so much easier to come in and play 20 minutes against a tired defense than playing the first 70. You know, like
that's a good point.
He's been doing great. His value's going up. I think he's a great player, but Watkins is more proven, and I don't think he's like lost a step or anything like that. I think you're right. He might be like nursing an injury and not quite as athletic, but I don't think he's on like the downside of his career. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yeah. It feels like that when you watch it, but at the same time, you're like, that can't be true. Right. So like, I don't disagree with you, but it's the feeling I get watching it, and the stats stacking it up for sure. Obviously a down season, but he's at a negative 3.7 per goal, expected goals per game performance level, where Duran's the exact opposite. He's at plus 4.2 expected goals per game.
No, he's been in form.
But 100%.
I'm still holding out hope that like Ollie Watkins is still that guy.
Yeah, it is a really good point though you bring up about a starter versus like the dynamic of coming in, like you said, against tired legs and a tired team is such a different dynamic at times. Sometimes it can hurt you because you're not into the game, right? But so many times it can be a benefit when you come in and you're just ready to go. It's rough for the other team. So, all right.
Well, that was my stat I was going to drop for you. You got close us with this quote from Amron, because I think I know what it is, but I can't remember what exactly.
Yeah. So was his birthday quote? Did you see that?
Oh no, this is something else.
Well, then you got to share your quote as well. But so the game, I think it was the game yesterday against Fulham. It was his 40th birthday. And so somebody asked him to, like, happy 40th, how you feeling? He's like, it's not 40. I'm 50. After 2 months at Man United, it's 50.
Oh man. Dude, he's not holding back.
But then he came back and he's like, it's a privilege to spend my 40th birthday here. But he's just joking with the media now.
Dude, I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
It kind of ties in. I like the way he's having fun with, like, how shitty the situation is at Man United.
Yeah.
Somebody asked him about Rashford not being on the bench for the match, and I don't have it up. I don't remember it, but I'm paraphrasing. It was something like, I would rather have my third string goalkeeper coach on the bench.
I saw that. Yeah.
Than Marcus Rashford. Just like straight up calling him out for not putting in any.
Oh yeah, no. He said I'd rather have that guy than somebody who doesn't try every day or something like that.
Yeah. Completely throwing him under the bus, which
just murdering him.
I feel like at this point Rashford deserves. Because, like, dude, if you're not going to try, like, you don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love that he's doing that. I think more.
Yeah, dude, he's rolling with the punches best he can.
All right, Champions League on Wednesday. We'll come back Thursday
night,
9 p.m., and we will go through all the matches and then pick our picks for the Premier League weekend. And hopefully we'll do better. I'll do better than this prior week, because Jesus.
Nah, we're ready. We're ready to bounce back. Got a few unfortunate.
We were on a good run. I was feeling good about myself. We're making some good bets, and then bam, and then you had to pour salt on the wound with that fantasy win. Oh my God, 213.
Yeah.
But
you still got the lead on the table. So,
is it week wins or is it total points?
It sorts it by total points. But there was a week I missed. There was a week I missed though entirely, right? If you recall.
I needed that.
And now it's very even. I think it's like 5 points were separated. So
well, you
that was a huge
got
week
2
for me.
weeks of points last week.
Yeah, I got 2 weeks of points in 1 week to bring me back even with you. So
nice job. All right, man. Well,
all right.
Cheers to you.
All right, man. It was fun.
Talk to you Thursday.
See you Thursday.